Is there anyone who loves cats as much as the Japanese do? Probably not. In Japan, every store welcomes you with a maneki neko, a cat figurine believed to bring good luck. There are even apartments specifically designed for cat owners that are highly popular. In shrines, cats are revered as gods. In Japan, cats are a common protagonist in novels, movies, and animations with famous characters like Hello Kitty and Doraemon recognized worldwide. There's even a term in Japan called nekonomics, a portmanteau of the Japanese word for cat, neko, and the English word economics. It refers to the economic impact generated by the cat culture. According to a report by the Yomiuri Shimbun last year, this amounts to about 20 trillion won. However, cats have not always been popular in Japan. In a 1983 survey, 59% of the population disliked cats, with dogs being the preferred pet. But this changed in 2017, when for the first time the number of cats exceeded the number of dogs. According to a survey of 50,000 households, there were 9.53 million cats compared to 8.92 million dogs. What has happened? The seemingly insignificant shift in the numbers of cats and dogs contains several implications for our future. Cats first appeared on Earth about 7 million years ago, but they were only domesticated around 10,000 years ago by the Egyptians. At that time, Egyptians began farming more systematically using the flooding of the Nile. But they faced constant issues with rats eating their grains. This led to the domestication of cats, who were highly revered in Egypt. As a result, the export of cats from ancient Egypt was strictly prohibited. However, Phoenician traders secretly smuggled cats through Egyptian ports. The problem of rats was common in many countries. Cats spread to the Mediterranean shores, including Greece and Rome. And by the 2nd century BC, they had reached China. Cats were introduced to Japan around the 6th century along with Buddhism. Generally, cats are not as devoted or affectionate to humans as dogs, who were domesticated about 30,000 years ago. Cats have a shorter history of domestication, so they still retain much of their wild instincts. That's why dogs have generally been more popular than cats. According to industry estimates, even today, 48% of global pets are dogs compared to 38% that are cats. Japan was the same. Even in the late 1990s, when keeping pets became fashionable, dogs vastly outnumbered cats. However, a significant change occurred in 2007 when news spread of a cat named Tama becoming the station master of a rural village's train station that was facing closure. This became an international sensation and led to a dramatic increase in cat ownership in Japan, eventually surpassing the number of pet dogs. Tama was beloved as a station master for 8 years and passed away in 2015 due to acute kidney failure. About 3,000 people attended Tama's memorial service. However, Tama was more of a trigger than the sole cause. The social atmosphere in Japan was already shifting from dogs to cats. A major factor behind this shift is the aging population. As of 2022, individuals aged 75 and above make up 15% of Japan's population, totaling 20 million people, and those over 80 constitute 10% or 12 million. Caring for a dog requires daily walks, which can become physically challenging for older people. Cats, on the other hand, do not usually enjoy walks and are smaller and easier to manage, making them a more convenient choice for the elderly. This trend of preferring cats as pets in response to an aging population is not unique to Japan, but is a global phenomenon. However, the rapid pace of aging in Japan has made this shift particularly noticeable. The increase in cats also correlates with the rise in single-person households. In Japan, single-person households increased from 32% in 2010 to 38% in 2020. The number of single-person households is continuously increasing. For those who need to work and also take care of a pet, cats are much easier to manage than dogs. Cats naturally use the litter box without much training and are less likely to make a mess of the house. Most importantly, cats are less likely to experience separation anxiety compared to dogs, making it easier for owners to leave them alone while they go to work. Some young men believe that having a cat can make them appear more favorable to women. Changes in living environments also contribute to the preference for cats. In Japan, where more people are moving from detached houses to apartments and condominiums, the need for a pet to guard the house, often a role filled by dogs, is decreasing. Given the Japanese tendency to avoid causing inconvenience to others, cats are considered a more suitable choice for the noise-sensitive environments of communal housing. Japanese economic experts relate the cat boom to economic recession. They argue that when the economy is strong, people tend to build larger homes with yards suitable for dogs. In contrast, during economic downturns, as all family members are likely to be working, people opt for cats which require less attention and maintenance. This pattern was also seen during the oil crisis, and the prolonged economic slump that started in the 1990s is considered a significant factor in the increasing number of cats. Cost is also a factor not to be ignored. Generally, cats are cheaper to acquire and maintain than dogs, although this can vary depending on the breed. Above all, dogs require multiple mandatory vaccinations, such as for rabies, and owners often need to invest in pet insurance and clothing, whereas cats generally require fewer visits to the vet. According to calculations by the related industries in Japan, it costs about 40% less to maintain a cat than a dog. For Japanese people, whose salaries have largely been stagnant for decades, opting for cats over dogs is a more practical choice. Thus, in Japan, owning a dog is becoming a symbol of wealth, leading to some complaints. There's also a sentiment that cats better match the Japanese temperament. This is primarily a view held within Japan. According to the Sankei Shimbun, the Japanese, who value independence, are more drawn to the independent nature of cats than to loyal dogs. The Japanese, who prefer not to meddle or be meddled with, even maintaining a certain distance with close friends, find the aloofness of cats more fitting. Conversely, owning a dog, which requires walks and social interaction with other dogs, demands a level of sociability that may not suit the more introverted and reserved Japanese. In the United States, the ratio of households with dogs is 38%, while those with cats is 25%. However, this gap is narrowing. On social media platforms like Instagram, cats have already surpassed dogs in terms of the number of posts. As seen in Japan, in advanced countries where aging populations are rapidly increasing and single-person households are on the rise, it's only a matter of time before cats surpass dogs in popularity. In the EU, where many countries are experiencing both aging populations and population decline, the number of households with cats is nearly equal to those with dogs. For centuries, cats were burnt by the hundreds of thousands in Europe, branded as Satan's creatures and companions of witches. Particularly in France, a country traditionally known for its love of dogs, there are now nearly twice as many cats as dogs, with the cat population reaching 14 million. People who own cats are often humorously referred to as butlers, suggesting that instead of being masters, they serve their cats like servants. Despite this, the large number of people who proudly call themselves cat butlers indicates the undeniable charm of these animals. Japanese novelist Osaragi Jiro said, "Cats maintain their strength and protect themselves in solitude, and anyone who can appreciate this silent beauty cannot help but love cats." It seems that in Japan, and indeed globally, human life is becoming more and more like the life of a cat. We prefer personal and independent living over communal living, and the rising popularity of cats might be reflecting the increasing loneliness of humans.